So I'm from San Antonio, and I first started in photography when I was in high school. I took photography and learned how to develop photos in a darkroom. But really, one of my first experiences with photography was looking through my father's photo albums, and I just really loved looking at old family photos, and there's just something really nostalgic about seeing photos, especially printed in your hand. And I loved the look of like the photos as they were, torn and kind of faded, but there was still a story there. There was still history there. Sometimes when I see images of my great grandparents, and I think, wow, what kind of life did they live, and for that life to have led to me, what kind of struggles did they go through that have made my life easier? I think those ideas really inspire me, and really just women in my life inspire me. My mother, my sisters, seeing them grow up, inspires me to be the woman I am today. And people that I've met along the way, people that I meet as I travel. I hope that other women are inspired by my artwork. I hope that my artwork tells them I hope my artwork empowers other women, especially young girls. I think that when I was young, I knew that I wanted to be an artist, but I really didn't know how far it could take me or what I could say with my artwork. I just knew that I loved art, and I knew that I loved making art. And it's taken me a long time to really develop my style and to develop my artwork to have meaning. And so I hope that it can inspire other women and other artists in general, that all you have to do is try and go out there and keep creating art and keep sharing it with others, and you'll be surprised at how it inspires other people.
I actually started when I was in Florida, although I, like everyone else, took pictures. It wasn't, it was more amateur, not serious, until I met up with some really great photographers in Florida from all over the world. And my gentleman friend had great cameras. So that started my journey. But more than anything, I realized that I love capturing people's images or faces or a fleeting emotion. To me is so exciting now. So I love doing that. My greatest influence was my grandmother, or is still my grandmother. My grandmother came from Mexico very young. She was only 13, 14, and she crossed the border. At the time, the border was very fluid. It would have been before the 1920s. And I have always admired her for her courage, because she crossed only with her stepmother, and she was by herself for many years. She moved from Laredo to a small town called Bishop for a time, and then to Mathis, where I grew up, Mathis, Texas. So she always lived in these small towns in Texas, but she went to school in Mexico City. But all of her, everything I learned about my culture, about who I am, about that roots and those connections, is really from my grandmother. She spoke very little English, if at all, and she always demanded, "You will not forget Spanish ever." And I'm so grateful for that, because for a time I wanted to be like everyone else. I wanted to blend in. I wanted to be the American. So I thought, okay, I'll forget who I was and become who I'm supposed to be. And she said, "No, you are who you are, and don't you ever forget it." And over again, this was imprinted into us. So to me, that she was and is an incredible, hopeful, and positive influence in my life.
And I think also this show is about women inspiring other women, women helping other women, mujeres empowering other mujeres. Mm-hmm. And so that's an important part of this show, I feel.
Yes, that we all have within us the need to express ourselves, but also the power to do that without being shy about it or second guessing yourself. And that seemed to be something that was captured in the images, that there was this vitality there. Mm-hmm. From the children that we took pictures of to the older ladies that were there. Mm-hmm. They all had that feeling of history inspiring us to move on. Yes, even if it's history that was a month ago or 2 months ago or years ago, as in your cyanotypes, where these are women from the turn of the century. Even it all had that one thing speaking for us. So we figured out, well, that's what it is. It's life, energy, life, bravery, vida y valor. Mm-hmm.